The Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi's high-profile state visit to US has concluded. The three-day visit was full of ceremonial events and productive talks. And there have been a key number of outcomes as well. Our principal diplomatic correspondent, Dhant Sibal, spoke with Indian Ambassador to US, Taranjit Singh, and diffused the key outcomes. Take a listen.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's visit to the United States is over. This visit was full of outcomes ranging from defense to critical technologies and people-to-people engagements. With me is the Indian Ambassador to United States. Sir, welcome to WION at this historic location. My first question to you is an obvious question. How will you describe this visit of the Indian Prime Minister? This was his first official state visit since he took charge in 2014. So if you can perhaps tell to our viewers the key outcomes of this visit.
See, the Prime Minister is not new to United States. He has been coming many times since 2014. And even before that, even as an individual, he actually toured the United States, number of states, so he knows it well. But you are right, this visit was indeed historic and substantial. And I use this terminology and the words very, very carefully. So both the sides, now that we are through with the visit, in fact before the visit also I had said that, but now we have clear evidence. So let's talk of the facts. As far as the ceremonial parts were concerned, you are aware that this is time on all 3 days. The Prime Minister had meetings with the President in White House, and each one of them carried substance. Let's take the first day. There was a private dinner at White House. Both First Lady and the President received him. In fact, before that, there was a Skills for All event. And at that event, there were a number of experts, and they shared their experiences with Prime Minister and the First Lady. You know that First Lady is very invested in community colleges. She's an educator by background and strongly believes in skills. And Prime Minister's commitment is well known.
So a lot of things which happened. We were present in most of the locations. We saw the warmth with which the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi was greeted by the American President. But one key outcome was on critical technologies. The handshake event especially emphasized on how both sides should engage on that. So if you can talk about how does the Indian side and the American side look forward to substantive and practical cooperation in this specific sector?
If you ask me to pick up, there were several outcomes. If you pick up one, technology is that. And technology is a cross-cutting area. Technology is not only commercial, it's also strategic. So therefore, when we talk of ISET, if you look at it, it's not an area which is a long time under preparation. Actually, it started in the Japan summit, where both the leaders, President Biden and Prime Minister Modi, had spoken about it. But it moved so swiftly. In January, we had the NSA, Indian NSA, Ajit Doval. He was here, and that's when ISET was launched. And now, within a few months, you had the US NSA. He visited Delhi, and ISET moved further. And if you look at the joint statement, you can see different aspects of technology in this. So we have quantum, there are specific areas. We have cybersecurity, we have internet, 5G, 6G, ORAN, etc., etc. So any of the areas, if you look at it, you will see it. Now you spoke about the technology handshake. Do keep in mind that this visit also saw concrete investments coming into India, whether it was Google or it is Lam, or it is any of these semiconductor, that's one of the important area of ISET. That is very much mentioned. So the important aspect here is that India is being seen as a partner, and trust and confidence are the bottom lines of technology. Nobody shares technology unless you have that in. So that is a critical output of this, that United States and India, as both President Biden and Prime Minister Modi said several times, that trust and confidence between the two is the bottom line.
From defense to space, space also stood out in many ways in the entire visit. Both countries essentially embracing each other in the space domain. The Artemis Accord was a surprise to all of us, including WION as well. So essentially, what are we looking forward to in the space cooperation? And we also have a space cooperation with Russia. Do you think that there will be a contradiction? And how does this work? The Indian space cooperation with the Americans and, of course, with the Russians. And this is a rare thing. I mean, I think India is the only country that stands out in many ways in terms of having space cooperation with two countries who don't gel well together.
I'm not going to comment on the Russian part. I think let's just talk about the developing cooperation in the space sector in these two areas. As I said, again, trust and confidence is the base of that. Why? Of course, you have seen Artemis, and Artemis is an enabling document. It provides a lot of openings for us, but we also need to keep in mind here that India has recently opened its space sector to private sector. So I think that is a realization of that. It's a further development. It's again a futuristic development. And not only in this, you are aware that we are going to carry out a combined mission. So that's Nisar is pretty well known.